Welcome to the Prepare to Repair Show with your host, RJ Graham Plumbing's very own Steve Suarez. For the next hour, Steve and his expert guest will help take the fear out of home improvement by answering homeowner questions. Gain valuable information from Steve's 20-plus years of experience to help you save valuable time, money, and frustration on your next home repair project. Become an empowered homeowner and prepare to repair.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to wish everyone a happy Monday. Welcome to the Prepare to Repair show. I am your host, Steve Suarez with RJ Graham Plumbing. And joining me in studio today is Rob Bogda from Zark Heating and Cooling. Robert has been on the show towards the beginning of this season. And today he's going to be here discussing basically, I know people are not going to want to hear this. It's going to be as the end of the season, it's going to start to get colder, and people are going to be kicking on their furnaces. So we're going to be talking about a way to be proactive in getting those furnaces checked out and other HVAC-related issues as we start to close out the summer and get into the winter. How you doing, Robert?
Good. Thanks for having me, Steve.
Oh, I know people don't want to hear what I said just now.
Oh, no. It's going to be 90 degrees this week.
Right.
And people aren't even thinking about their furnaces, but it'll be here before you know it. Well,
we were just talking, before the show started. It's when you are, the one thing a homeowner could be is, if anything, is proactive. And when you're proactive about everything, you're on it and you're controlling it. You're playing offense. When you're on your heels and you're playing defense and being reactive, the house is dictating what it's doing.
Yeah, it's a lot better to be proactive than reactive, especially when, before you know it, it's Christmas or after, and now it's 0 degrees and your furnace isn't working.
Right. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Who do you know that turns on their furnace at right around Christmas thing?
Well,
is that a game?
Right. A lot of people do it, right? You see how long they could go before they turn their heat on.
I think my wife was telling me that they did that at her house when she was younger. They would see how long they could wait before they could turn on the furnace.
Oh, yeah.
I think they got to almost Thanksgiving.
And put a sweatshirt on.
Exactly. Her mother goes, for God's sake, look at her. She's wearing a full down jacket to bed.
Yeah.
Turn on the heat.
A lot of people do it. And it's, like you said earlier, just being proactive is better than being reactive.
Right.
And just think of getting your furnace and humidifier and stuff maintained. Same thing. There's maintenance and what you do with your water heaters and sump pumps and all of that stuff. It's, do you want to catch the problems before they become big problems? You know what I mean? Where you have the flexibility to take your time and kind of repair it, replace it, do what you have to do on your own means versus out of necessity.
Right. You want to, like I said, I always say, I always want to be in control. I always want to be able to say, okay, this is what I have to do. And a lot of people, I think most people are like that because they'll have a list of things they have to do. They'll have an itinerary of things. And this way it helps them, get a grip on what's going on. If you do that with the house, then, whether it's the furnace or whether just having a team of people, even if you can do it yourself, if it's in your wheelhouse and you know how to do certain things, that's great.
Right.
You don't have to know everything. You just have to know when to smell the scent of, some crap when somebody's throwing it at you. But you want to have good people.
Yeah, definitely.
And being able to count on those people when you have that list of things to do. So it's like, okay, well, it's getting to be that season. I'm going to be firing up the furnace. I would rather have it checked out to make sure it's doing okay. So then when I do, I don't run the risk of, maybe putting anybody in danger because you don't know, what may happen. The carbon monoxide detector goes off or
small gas leaks. I'm sure you run across that stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of variables and stuff that go in it. And YouTube is good, but it's also bad because people can actually look online to fix and repair stuff, but they don't have the knowledge and training behind that 3-minute YouTube video on the functionality of everything else.
Well, I always say, I hear people other guests have been on here, they call it YouTube University. And, YouTube is a great resource.
Absolutely.
But YouTube they use perfect world scenarios when they're showing you how to do it. They're not showing you, like I was looking at trying to replace or repair something on a car, and I was looking at where it was, and I'm looking at it, and because I see it as a, from a contractor, from a plumbing aspect, where all you have to do is pull this off, pull this panel off and get to here, reach your hand behind here, unscrew it, and it should come right out. And I'm laughing to myself going, okay, one, that panel's not going to come off that easy.
Right.
Because I'm going to break the clips. 2, my hand's not going to fit in there. 3, I don't have that little wrench that you have.
Right.
And 4, that is not going to come out that easy. Those screws are not going to come out because my luck, it's going to be rusted.
Right. Yeah.
So
they're not saying it's an older car that's been through 15 Chicago winters.
Exactly.
And everything's seized up. I hear you.
Yeah. So none of those are going to happen exactly the way, it's they're showing in their video.
Yep.
So that's one thing people have to look at. It's like it may be an advisory or something to get an idea. So when you have somebody come out, it'll give you an idea to ask questions. But to use that as a way to do it, as a guide to tackle it.
Yes.
I would be really leery on that.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just, I would do a lot more research and have a little bit more experience before you tackle that.
Oh yeah. I mean, anybody can replace a igniter if they're handy, but would you know if that igniter is in the right path? You're going to have delayed ignition. Delayed ignition is basically a small explosion inside your furnace, and then all our burners are going to catch. That's not the way it's supposed to work. You know what I mean? So, like you said, it is a good guide and a tool, but I think it needs to be done professionally as well.
Right.
To a point. You know what I mean?
So you mean to tell me, so when you hear that little boom and you hear that sound of sheet metal rocking, that's not a good sign?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. So basically, the thing is, like what you said right there is there's probably a listener out there that has had that. They're like, I wonder what that is.
Yeah.
So now they can give you a call to
delayed ignition.
Get that checked out. So what we're going to do now is we'll take a quick break, and we're on the other side of the break. We're going to talk more about fall maintenance and other HVAC issues.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket.
Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show. I am your host, Steve Suarez with RJ Graham Plumbing, and joining me is Robert Bogda with Zark Heating and Cooling. And we were just talking about, actually before the break, we were talking about what was that called? The ignition issue on a furnace?
Delayed ignition. Okay. Delayed ignition, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, those little things that happen, it's like, that sound's going to scare people. I mean, it's just because it could be, and I think I've heard that a couple times. That's why I said, because when I mentioned the little boom, because it's the ignition. Hello, it's Monday.
Yeah.
It's the ignition of all of the burners at once.
Yes.
And that's not how it's supposed to go. It's not supposed to do that, is it?
Right. No, it's instead of lighting when it's supposed to, gas is just pumping through the burners until it kind of hits the igniter if it's not in the correct stream.
Okay.
And then when that happens, then you get a small explosion inside the furnace. I've seen it where if the igniter's way out of whack and it goes to light, it actually, a homeowner called last year, every time my heat turns on, the door blows off. Well, that's because every time the heat turns on, your furnace has a small explosion. So they replaced their igniter. It wasn't much of a fix for us, but we were able to clean everything up and realign the igniter and stuff and get it working the way it's supposed to.
Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you something. We're going to switch gears over to AC.
Yeah.
But I mean, this here we're going to talk a little bit more about, because like I said, as we start getting into it, I want people to be able to kind of bookmark this episode to be able to, as we start getting in the coming weeks, as it starts getting colder. So,
yes.
On AC units, if an AC unit hasn't been used for a while, and it's like, say, fired up, can it give off any kind of like bacteria or shoot up in the air off that may have accumulated on the coils or anything like that when it's blowing through?
It can, yeah. The evaporator coil is either going to be above the furnace or below the furnace. Mm-hmm. And think about basements. Anything that is cool, damp, and just dark has the potential to grow all kinds of funky stuff that you don't want to breathe or smell or see or anything like that. Okay. So when it is off for a while, sometimes the drain pans aren't pitched correctly, so it might hold water. So now you're going to get the stagnant water, and then that's where that smell would come from. You could probably elaborate more on if the floor drain or something dries out over the course of the winter and stuff, and then you're just kind of pulling sewer gas smells back through that little drain port or whatever. But yeah, that is common, and you can tackle that stuff with ultraviolet lights if you were to go that route. Ultraviolet lights neutralize any of the mold spores, bacterias, viruses, stuff like that. And especially with everything going on with the COVID virus and flu viruses and all of that stuff, there are pieces of equipment you could put on your home HVAC equipment to make your house cleaner. Okay.
Now, do you install that type of equipment?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. We install. There's two different ultraviolet lights that we take care of, and some people think it's just for air conditioning season, but it flips right around to sick season as well. Once flu is rampant, you know what I mean? Right. All of that stuff. It's just a healthier air because you're killing all of that stuff before it gets to affect the occupants in the home.
Right. So indoor air quality. So okay.
Definitely.
Well, that definitely makes sense because I was. Have you ever seen? And I ran this in my house. I came out. My condenser was running.
Okay.
It's constantly running, and I was looking at the line coming in, and it was iced up. It had a big old ball of ice on it.
Yep.
So I go up and I look at the furnace, and furnace is not running. The fan's not running. I'm like, okay. I look at it, and the furnace was sitting in a pan.
Okay.
They put a switch on the pan.
A safety switch, yep.
Right.
Yep.
So what happened was I think the drain for that pan went into the same line as the condensate drain for the furnace. That clogged. Filled up the pan, shut that down.
Yep.
Why doesn't it shut off the coil outside?
Because it's not wired correctly.
Okay.
Yes. If it's supposed to turn everything off.
Right.
And you could wire them different ways, and there's different devices and stuff that we use. The most predominant one that we use is it kills the air conditioner.
Right.
But the fan will just blow. It'll just blow the indoor blower motor.
Right.
The outside unit will shut off, so you don't have anything to worry about. But the fan will continue to blow because you don't want to put like an audible alarm in somebody's home. Right. And then they go, it's blowing warm air. What's going on? Well, there's something wrong with it. Or you could just kill it altogether. And once they're killed altogether, then then that would kind of be their alarm. Hey, nothing's working.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. That makes sense because I'm very because I do this, I don't do HVAC, but because I, do plumbing, I'm very observant to what's going on inside the house.
Yeah.
So I noticed that I'm like, this thing is running, and it just seemed like it was just warm upstairs. And I'm like, why is it doing it? So I went up and checked the because it's in the attic, and I went up and checked the furnace, and I'm like, this thing's full of water. So I cleaned out the drain, checked everything out, and once I did that, everything went back and was operational. We're good to go.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things. I've never seen them use a switch on it to shut it off, but I thought to myself, like you said, why would you shut this off and run the risk of running that condenser that is just going to...
It'll freeze up.
It'll freeze up on it.
Yep.
And it's a good thing I caught it.
Yeah,
so,
and those pans are nice. The overflow protection is nice, and the whole reason for it is you would rather catch that backed up drain than to have water dripping out of can lights or through your drywall and your ceiling. Exactly. Now it's disastrous, and now you have thousands of dollars worth of drywall repairs, and who knows if you're out of town and that happens and you have a hardwood floor below. Oh, yeah. Now you got bigger problems.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just, I'm looking at that, I'm like, okay, I've never seen it, but it's like, all right, well, it's like you learn something new every day, and that's why I tell people you don't have to know everything.
Yep.
You just have to know certain basics so you know what this is, what it is. And the more information you have that you can give to your service people that are coming out, the better off you are.
Oh, it helps tons. A lot of people don't realize how much it helps, and a lot of people might even feel goofy. Oh, well, it's making this kind of noise. What kind of noise? And then they don't want to say it because they're embarrassed, but it helps you diagnose and kind of what's going on, because it could be an intermittent issue, or it could be a bigger issue. But just even with a few-minute conversation, the technician would have a pretty good idea what's going on before they even get to the equipment.
You know why people don't say anything, I found?
Why?
Is because people in the trades, service providers, and the bad ones, what they do is they talk down to people.
Yeah.
They talk down to the homeowners. They're like, when you walk in the house and the homeowner says, well, it's been doing this. Wait a minute. I'm the professional here, and I've heard this from many customers, and I'm like, first of all, you should have kicked the guy out of the house.
Oh, exactly.
He said, well, I'm the professional. I've been doing this for so many years. You don't know what you're talking about. With all due respect, you don't know what you're talking about. I'll take it. I was been like, get out.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because the homeowner is there all the time. They're around the issue.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. They've been around and heard this sound. So being able to tell you all the variables that you need to know, like when it happens, when is it most prominent, what is happening when they hear it, and what is usually going on when this is happening, it's all, okay, I narrowed this thing down. They are a wealth of information that is vital in working together with the service provider to get the right resolution and get it resolved as quickly as possible. That saves money all across the board.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There was this one customer that we had where it was a noise issue during heating season, and I personally went there and I was talking with the homeowner, and she's like, it doesn't happen right when it first starts. Mm-hmm. All right, well, as soon as she said that, I'm thinking, all right, well, it's not going to be the inducer motor, it's not going to be this, that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She said it has to run for a little bit and then it'll start. All right, well, it sounds like maybe a time delay and then the blower motor picks up or something. So we turn the thermostat on, and I'm standing right with her or whatever, and the furnace comes on and it's screaming. I said, is that the noise? No, it always makes that noise. Okay, so we're just standing there waiting. I hear the blower motor engage, and once it gets up to speed, it starts making a noise. And I said, is that the noise? Yeah, that's the noise, but then wait a little while longer. Okay, wait a little while longer, and then you hear boom, boom. All right, what's going on here? So we went downstairs and checked everything out, and the lady had multiple problems. Mm-hmm. When it first started up and it was screaming, that was her inducer motor. The bearings were going bad on her inducer motor. The blower motor was just loud because there was a piece of her air filter that she just replaced stuck into the blower wheel. So that was an easy fix, but now it's going to sound like an out-of-balance washing machine. You're going to have a vibration to it. And then later, once the ductwork heats up and stuff, it expands, so you're going to get that oil canning or popping noise. Mm-hmm. So we were able to fix that, but since then, she's been a maintenance customer of ours because she didn't even know she had these other problems. And the other problems were not big money fixes, but she was just on cloud nine now just because everything's working the way it's supposed to, and it never sounded as good as it does.
Absolutely. And that's, like I said, people are, and homeowners that are listening, you rule everything in your home. You run everything.
100%.
From the time that you have opened the door to have that service provider come through the door, he or she respects you and everybody in your home, including your home, from the time they walk through and the time that they leave. And if you don't feel that, if you feel less than, or that something doesn't feel right, let them go. Get somebody else.
Yeah. Homeowner's the boss. If you don't like them, fire them.
Exactly.
Find somebody else.
You don't need to have them. You don't need to feel less than in your home. And because you, one, are ultimately paying the bill.
Yep.
That's beginning and end of it. And also, again, it's common courtesy to treat people with respect both ways.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I think, because I've heard people talk to homeowners, I'm like, he'd be out of my house. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You don't like it. It's, you know,
Yeah,
there's
you
other
leave.
people out there.
Yeah.
You know, I'll sweat before you're going to disrespect me in my house.
Yeah, there's no reason to talk down to anybody. That's one of my personal pet peeves.
Yeah.
People talking down. There's no reason for it. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat other people's homes like it's your own home.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's like, you know, because I've gotten so much information from homeowners that it does this, or, you know, like the drain's backed up and I'll run water in it. And they'll say, well, it backs up. I ask them, does it back up right away? No, it takes a while. Okay, I go, then the clog is further out. Well, how do you know that? Because if it was close by, it would back up right away.
Yep.
Oh, okay. And then I go and show them, okay, this is how long your drain is, and this is probably where the clog is. This is usually the most common issue, things like that. And giving all this information, this helps the homeowner know their home.
Yes.
And that's why I say when the homeowner's having somebody out, and you'll probably agree with me, is, you know, homeowners like to do things themselves. They like, and honestly, I don't blame them. You know, you want to try to do as much as you can because it's your house.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, everyone wants the sense of accomplishment that it gives you when you've done things around the house.
Yeah.
So, what I tell people is, when you're paying somebody to come out, watch them.
Oh, absolutely.
Watch them and then say, okay, well, is this something that next time it happens, is that something you want to take on or do, you know, take on that project or do? Or is it one of those jobs that he can have?
Yeah.
We will let you have that. I will not fight you for that job all day long.
You're right. Yeah, yeah.
And that's the thing. You're gonna get education.
Yeah.
If you're paying for someone to come out, get some education.
Yep.
And you may learn, you know, a couple things like, hey, I saw that and I'll never do that, or I know why. And then this way you can help out family members and at least give them somebody to call.
Yeah. I usually kind of turn it around on the homeowners and stuff when you're in their house or outside or whatever. And they're like, all right, well, this is this, and I'll see you later if you need anything. I said, well, if you want, you could pull up a chair and watch. Excuse me?
Yeah.
I don't mind. I said, you could watch me do what I'm doing. I said, kind of stay back a little bit so we're not tripping over each other while I'm trying to work, but I don't mind at all. You could watch and gain your own knowledge of how it's supposed to be done. And a lot of times when the homeowners watch, wow, I've always kind of watched like from out my window and this and that when they're out by the air conditioner, and they've never done this. Our other companies that we had come out, they've never done this. Or how come you're taking all of this all apart? Because this is the right way that we do this. You know what I mean? Different stuff like that. And I think if the people don't want the homeowners around, it's almost to the point where they could maybe not doing something ethical.
Why?
Yes, exactly.
Always. Why?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's that.
There's nothing to hide here. Yeah.
Red flags, you know.
Yep.
Train, you know, the ding, 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 you know.
Exactly.
You know, bullhorns, everything, all that.
Yep.
But I want to also touch on what you said about watching. On the other side, we're going to take a quick break here, and then I want to touch on that because that's something that's a topic that comes up.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. Your dreams.
Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show. I am your host, Steve Suarez, and back here with me is Robert Bogda with Zark Heating and Cooling. And before we go and continue on with our discussion about homeowners watching us, I wanted to remind people that a good friend of the show, Tony Delgado, is with Evolution Installs, is doing a awesome giveaway with for a Ring Doorbell that he is giving away. So he's going to announce the winners on it on his appearance next week. So to enter, you can either check us out on Facebook at our Facebook page, or you can text us at the show text line at 708-964-5500 and get your chance to win a Ring Doorbell system sponsored by Tony Delgado with Evolution Installs. These are very good safety tools, especially giving you eyes and ears, or around your who's at your door. Who's there when you're not there. So these are really cool items. So.
Keep an eye on your Amazon packages when somebody drops them off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I see so many videos of, people coming to people's door and it's like all hours of the night trying their door. I mean, these are extremely valuable.
Yes.
So. So this is definitely a really, really nice giveaway, a really useful product. This is Monday. I am not doing well. It's a very good good product that everyone could use. So, go online, check us out on Facebook for your chance to win. Or enter your name in there, and also you can shoot us over a text 708-964-5500. I wanted to, when we were before the break, we were talking about homeowners watching.
Yes,
I love it.
Oh, it's a great thing
because I hadn't give you an example. We had a sewer issue in New Lenox, and we gave the price to do it, and they, agreed to have us do it. So we dug down, and it was called a sheared overhead. And the sheared overhead, for people who don't know, it's your pipe that's going through the wall, your sewer pipe. It's where the pipe breaks off at the wall. And that's usually caused by pipes going through the wall, and it's usually about 5 feet of cast iron. Sometimes it's plastic. Either way, it's going through the wall, about 5, maybe a little bit longer. Sometimes they use longer pieces of pipe. But part of it's in the foundation, part of it's in the dirt. So as the house settles, you literally have this hollow piece of pipe holding back 2 forces. And what happens is the pipe usually is the one that loses and snaps. And as it snaps, it starts to, the water leaks out, washes out the soil underneath. Pipe starts to drop, causes you backups. This is, common. It happens houses, anywhere from 4 to, I've seen them happen in as early as 4 years, all the way up into houses that are almost 20 years. But anyway, we ran into that, and we were digging it out, and the price we gave they thought was a little high. And I was like, I could tell they didn't say anything at first, but
sure.
They thought it was a little, and then we dug it out and found that the pipe didn't just drop a little bit. It literally dropped 4 inches.
Oh, wow.
So all the sewage was just dumping outside the foundation. So we're digging all this out. It turned into a real sloppy mess.
I bet.
They were watching this the entire time. They're like, I thought your price was a little high. No, you were worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Yes.
You worth every penny. I didn't know what I was getting into, but it was absolutely worth it. And the thing is one of those things. A lot of times homeowners don't know what the job entails.
Right.
So seeing it allows them to say, okay, well, that's why.
Exactly.
Here's what has to be done. And that is helpful.
They don't show that kind of stuff on YouTube.
No.
They show, this is a 20-minute fix.
Right. Because they stop it and
Right.
they do it like, it's kind of like we were talking about the radio. The radio is, you don't have a cut and, okay, we're going to just do a redo or retake on it and we're going to edit it.
Right.
What we're talking about is what we're talking about. It's live. That's basically when you're having a customer watch you do the job, it's live. They're seeing you do everything.
Yep.
So
start to finish.
when you're mumbling to yourself, a lot of, when you're fussing and cussing to yourself, it's like, what'd you say? Nothing. I didn't.
Yep.
You're a lot better than me because I would have been saying a lot more, I can't do that in your house.
Yep.
You could do that.
Yep.
So
This is your house.
exactly. But, you do run into it. And I've run into it where it's like, well, I'm glad if it's giving you a fight like that, I'm glad I didn't try it because I can imagine what it would do with me.
Oh, yeah.
And us having the experience in doing, what we do, it's a whole different story, because we coming in with the tools, coming in with an attack.
Right.
That is different than somebody who, with experience, or that doesn't have experience, I should say.
Exactly.
So, but also like talking about customers watching, one of the things that we found is, and the internet is great. The internet is great. It gives a ton of information. And I think homeowners should use that information more to thoroughly check out people. I think that's probably more of the biggest benefit for it. Check out people, check what you're looking to get, the jobs, everything like that. I noticed, and I don't know about you if you've seen this, is I have people that if I buy my own water heater, if I buy my own pumps, if I buy my own this, can I save money?
Yep.
And okay, I mean, you can buy whatever you're going to buy. I mean, but the thing is, at least on our end, is whatever the pump is or whatever the water heater is, that's what you're going to get it for.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to, tack on a whole lot. It's going to be tax and, it's just going to be time, whatever we have to do on the job to get what you need to get. But when you supply it, and I don't know about how with you, but when the homeowner supplies the pumps, the water heater, whatever the case may be, they own that warranty.
Absolutely.
Because they bought that product. That's their product, their warranty, because they are the ones going to have to deal with the manufacturer because they're the original purchaser. When we buy the product, then we're the original purchaser. We own that warranty. So our warranty is so much better on it. So I say as a consumer, if you're hiring somebody, have the person you're hiring include all that in the warranty.
Correct.
Make sure you're getting a company that's going to encompass everything they're doing in the warranty. So basically, like, in your instance, if they bought a part online.
Oh, yeah. And you get that all the time. Oh, well, I got so-and-so that's in the trade and I could get a capacitor. I could get a contactor. Mm-hmm. Okay. Or, well, why is this much on Amazon? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can get it on Amazon. And it'll take 2 days on Prime or whatever. You might get it sooner. If we put that part in, granted, it's going to be a little bit more because the quality sometimes isn't the same quality of parts that you're getting and stuff.
Right.
But you're paying for a service and you're paying for the warranty and stuff as well. Mm-hmm. If that same part goes bad, Amazon's not going to be ringing your doorbell to fix it at 10 o'clock at night. You're going to have to wait another couple days and exchange it and get your other one or whatever the case may be. They don't have to stand behind any of that stuff.
No, they don't. And like you said, if they call you and they say, okay, how much is it to replace to get this go up and going? See, the thing is, we get calls like, how much is it to do this? Basically, I'm giving you a price based on your diagnosis,
right?
And that's a no-win. That's a no-win for a contractor.
No, not at all.
Because one, you're hiring us for our expertise, but you want me to use your diagnostic or of the situation to give you a price over usually the phone or over email or whatever. Yep. That doesn't help the homeowner because, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, well, how much is it to route a drain? Okay, well, you give them a price to route a floor drain or whatever, pretty standard. And then you go there and find out, well, it's not a floor drain. Well, yeah, it is. It's backing up into my utility area. Yeah, you have a pump.
Right.
Okay, well, that drain goes to a pump. The pump's not working. So had you let me know, I could have diagnosed this and give you, or I can come out later and I could have assessed it and told you what it was, and then you would have known. I'm going off of your assessment.
Right.
Or my water heater's leaking. I need a new water heater. And then come to find out, well, why did you come to that assessment? Well, it's wet underneath my water heater. Well, your drain backed up.
Yeah.
It's a pump.
Yep.
Not a water heater. You get the wrong people out there, you already think you need a water heater. They're going to sell you a water heater, and they're going to sell you a pump.
And a pump as well, yeah.
You see, I mean, so basically trying to use limited information is going to wind up costing you. And a lot of people know how to work the internet people to their advantage.
Yeah, which is wrong. But it happens.
It is wrong. And, honestly, with us, the job is the job.
Yes.
So if you want me to replace a water heater and I think and I know it's the pump or I know it's just the drain that needs to be routed, I'm going to go with the cheaper solution first.
Yeah.
And if you don't want me to do it, then find someone that's going to replace your water heater.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it just because, you said you think it's that and I don't agree with you, because I'm not going to spend your money, because ultimately I'm going to be the one who's responsible for it.
Yeah. Or you get the homeowners and stuff that, well, you guys charge extra to come out on a weekend or or even just a trip charge to come out? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Well, I'm telling you what's wrong with it. Yeah, but there's accrued costs before we even start our truck. You know what I mean? the labor for the guys and stuff going out there. There's stuff that the companies have to put forth before they even start their day.
But but the thing is you're going off of that diagnostic that may or may not be accurate. So you always want to get, obviously, if you're going to use the research to find a quality, reputable people that you can trust.
Yes.
Then everything else could fall into place.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like once you get the quality, reputable, you do your homework there.
Yeah.
Then, okay, what kind of warranty are you going to give me? So basically, it's like, okay, I had a guy come out, or say they had you come out and you fix their AC, you replace the part on it. What's the warranty on it? Okay, well, say it's a 1-year warranty on it. Okay,
sure.
Parts and labor. Okay, say it fails in 6 months. Well, you're going to go out there, check it. Obviously, you're going to replace it, but you're going to find out why it failed.
Right.
Because is it a part failure, manufacturer defect, or is it something else that's causing it to fail?
Yep.
So that's what you're going to do. I mean, that's because you're standing behind it.
Yeah.
If they supply the part, and I've seen this with water heaters, they supplied the water heater, had somebody come out and do it. Well, the water heater's guaranteed for 6 years from the manufacturer. The labor's not.
Right, correct.
So that means, well, here you are in, year 4.5, water heater's been. Now you got to pay someone to do it again.
Yeah.
And, with our water heaters, we guarantee them minimum 6 years. So the manufacturer does 6 years. We do a minimum 6 years on the labor, which basically covers any manufacturer-covered repairs or replacements.
Yeah.
So if they fail, we got it covered. This way there's no gray area with the warranty.
Yeah.
So that's why we do that. But what it does is when you're paying the money and you're having someone come out, make them responsible.
Yeah.
I mean, why share the responsibility? You're still paying the bill.
Yeah, still have to pay the bill. And just with the diagnostic charge or for emergency service, I would say 90% of our customers are all preventive maintenance plan customers.
Yeah.
They pay for the plan. We come out once for the air conditioner tune-up, once for the furnace tune-up. Mm-hmm. If there's any problems for air conditioning or furnace, they don't pay anything for us to come out, whether we come out Monday morning, Christmas morning, middle of the night on Saturday. They're not paying anything for a service call to come out. They're paying for the repair. Mm-hmm. And the repair is going to be the same whether it's going to be any of those days. Our repairs don't change. So a lot of our customers found a heck of a lot of value in our maintenance plans because they're not getting hit with all of the surprises. Yeah, breakdowns and stuff will occur,
right,
but you're not paying overtime rates and anything like that for stuff to happen, and you get the security of a honest, ethical company that's going to come and fix it and get you squared away.
Right, and I think honestly when it comes to, we do free estimates because, well, in our field there's a lot of people that are doing that. And, honestly, we don't mind coming out there giving you we'll take a look at it, give you a price on what it's going to be. And a lot of people, I see the point on it. It's like, if I had to get pay for an estimate on everybody that came out, man, on a project like say that I'm doing in my house, I could have almost the whole amount of the project in my estimates.
Oh yeah.
So so I see where they're at on it. But if there is something on technical as far as a diagnostic fee on certain things like that, where you actually have to get involved, that's education.
Sure.
That's when you watch.
Yep.
That's when you find out, because chances are this isn't going to be an isolated incident. It's going to happen again. And the more knowledge you have when they say, hey, I've got this issue again. I had it happen. I'm looking at my records. Same thing, similar issue happened 3 years ago, and you guys came out and did this, this, and this. It's making the same sound, doing the same thing. Everything seems pretty much identical.
Sure.
So just to give you guys a heads up. So you guys come out there, you confirm that. And if you confirm that, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
And then this, again, it's the communication and the rapport and, relationship you built up.
Yeah, the trust.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, trust is one of those words that I've had, customers say to us too. It's like, we trust you, Steve. We trust you. I said, that's great, but you don't know me. Honestly, trust is something that's earned for over a long period of time. It's over several meetings and knowing somebody for a while.
Yeah, circumstances.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So what you do is you earn that.
Yep.
Okay, and that's why I say that. It's like they look at me funny when I say you don't trust me, you don't know me yet, and they look at me funny. But I mean, it's you pretty much owe everybody common courtesy.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
to be a decent human being. When you're meeting people, and then let people show you who they are. So every time we do a job, we are building towards that trust. We are making we're earning that trust.
Right.
And that's what a business should do for you as a homeowner is earn your trust. They didn't get it. They don't get it coming through the door.
Right.
They earn common courtesy, but you earn everything else coming through the door.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
And building relationships is huge.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I could say everything. There's a lot of people that come in and they promise the world, they say everything. But until you actually show that, and
Yes.
physically show what you're doing and let your actions prove what you're doing, that's how you build that trust. And that's why you get yourself, when you find yourself a decent company, a good company, let them do it. Let them show what they know. Let them do what they do. And when they've earned that, keep using them.
Yeah, and that's why I'm sure you're in the same boat. That's why you get so many, as we do, so many word of mouth referrals, because you built that trust with mom and dad, and
Right.
now their kids are going to go ahead and use you. Their friends are going to use you. You know what I mean? It just snowballs into that, and it just starts on trust and relationships and stuff. And then it all starts by common courtesy and basics, treating people the way you want to be treated, and go from there.
Oh yeah, I get people who are who own rental property or things like that.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I want you to have a representative out here. I want you to come out and see it. Well, I can't be. Well, I want you here. And the reason being is because I want you to know what we're doing.
Sure.
I want somebody here to know what we're doing, so when we tell you this is what we have to do, this is why we have to do it, this is what caused it, and this is what we should do going forward. If I just tell you over the phone, you miss out on a whole lot of information.
Yeah.
That you're just going to hear a number, and you're not going to know anything else that went involved in it, or that's going to be involved
Right.
in it. So you want to be able to see there, because once you see and with your own eyes what has to be done and what why it's happening, then it's a whole different attitude.
Yeah, and the phones and the tablets and stuff have made it a lot easier, because I have customers like that as well, where you just send them a bunch of pictures. Hey, this is what's going on. I'm here.
Right.
Or even short videos, whatever it takes.
Right.
But it's made it, modern technology has made it a lot easier for
absolutely.
getting that stuff done.
But insisting on people being there and seeing it
is huge.
And it's one of those things that says, hey, I'm showing you who we are.
Yep.
And that's the key thing, and I like that.
Oh, exactly.
So, and having that is awesome. But how are people going to get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you over at Zark?
Best way, you could get a hold of us at, just give us a call. Our shop number is 815-482-9410. You can call us or even text us at that number, and then get us on the internet at Zark, Z-A-R-K, HVAC.com.
So before we sign off the show, what would you say if people are looking to get a fall tune-up, okay, for their furnace, get everything checked out? Would you say now is probably the time to call?
I would, and we do have customers and stuff calling now. This week might be a little hectic with it. Going to be 90 degrees and stuff,
Right.
But people usually start calling last week of August and all through September, just to kind of beat the rush and stuff, just to get it up and running. The only downside with that is we do have to run your heat. So if it's hot outside, that might not be too nice. You know what I mean? Your house is going to get overheated and stuff, but it's not a long time that has to run, but your house will get warmed up while we're doing it, especially on a hot summer day.
And then they could talk to you about your maintenance programs that you have too. That is, from the way you explained, it sounds like it's very beneficial to homeowners.
Yes, yeah, with the breaks in the service charge and repair discounts and stuff like that, they definitely pay for themselves, because maintenance, I tell everybody, is like getting your oil change in your car. you buy a $50,000 car or $20,000 car, whatever it is, you're still going to get those oil changes done because you want it to last.
Correct.
Same thing with getting your air conditioning and furnace maintained.
You'd be surprised how many people overlook it. It's standing right in front of them. They use it.
Yeah.
They use it every day, and they omit it. It's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, because it's not cool.
Right.
It's not cool like a Corvette or you know what I mean. It's a furnace.
It's a utilitarian fixture. It's just one of those things that it's an appliance.
Yep.
You know, you don't know it until it's not working.
Yeah.
So, but I want to thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And it's been a great time. We've been able to cover. We didn't really even get to some of the other topics, but we were able to talk about a lot of things that I think homeowners really needed to know about because they are in charge.
Yeah.
They run everything, and they need to that's first and foremost remember when anybody comes to their house. So
yeah, no, that's great. I'm sorry.
No,
but yeah, no, I appreciate your time, and once it gets cooler and cooler outside, if you want to have me back on, we're more than happy to come back and sit down with you and talk and go over everything again for you.
We'll definitely have you back on the show.
Awesome.
I appreciate you being on. And before we sign off, I want everybody to remember to tune into the Rock and Roll Diner each day this week on the 95.9 The River, where the featured restaurant this week is the Turf Room, located in North Aurora. Listen for your chance to win a $25 gift card, sponsored by us at RJ Graham Plumbing. Also, tune in to the 95.9 The River Friday afternoon during the 5 o'clock hour, where legendary host Mitch Michaels will be cruising into the weekend with a cool prize for a lucky listener sponsored by RJ Graham Plumbing. I appreciate everybody for listening and tuning in, listening to me and Mr. Bogda here talk about home improvement. So reach out to us on our Facebook page, Prepare to Repair. And also, don't forget to text us for the Ring Doorbell giveaway, 708-964-5500. Till next week,